Hi there, Emma here. Wanted to quickly talk to you about wee-free dilution rates, something that you all ask, and this is also directly relevant to why maybe you spent loads of money on wee-free, you've been treating your lawn, but it still smells of pee. So we're going to do a little bit of amateur science here, and I've got a tray, and I've got some handy sand to be dog wee crystals, and I've got some Zeostop here to be the wee-free live enzyme. So the wee-free, our best-selling product by a long way, and it's a bioenzyme cleaner, which basically means that it's full of live microorganisms, enzymes that replicate, or they are the same enzymes that are in your soil that would naturally digest organic matter in the soil. Now when you get your bottle like this, you've got to give it a good shake because they do all settle down in the bottom. Now it's not going to work unless you mix it with water. As soon as you dilute it with water, the little critters, they start to grow and replicate, and they're going to sort of reproduce themselves. The idea of having a stronger solution of wee-free is that you're going to have more live enzymes in your bucket than otherwise, than if you've got a weaker solution. Now, this will help you understand what I'm rattling on about. So this is my sand out of my garden, and this is going to be my dog wee crystals. This is sitting under your grass. So the grass is going on the top, and over the winter your dog has peed on the grass, and the dog wee has gone underneath the grass, and the wee crystals, they don't ever completely dissolve in water. The rain isn't going to make them dissolve permanently. They'll sort of a little bit dissolve, but as soon as the rainwater or the damp underneath the back of the grass start to dry, they're going to recrystallise again. After those few lovely warm days we've had, this is what the dog wee under your grass is going to look like. It's going to have crystallised and it's going to be stinking. Now here comes the wee-free. You've given it a shake, you've mixed it up, and if you're really smelly, you want to have a 1 litre bottle into a 5 litre watering can, and that is full of individual little creatures, and each individual little creature, its job is to eat dog wee crystals. And the little enzymes will come along, like if you're really old like me and you remember those Pac-Man things from the 80s, computer games, they're literally like that. They'll come along and they'll hunt the dog wee and they'll munch the dog wee crystals. But they're tiny, they're much smaller even than a dog wee crystal. So if you have this much stinky piss in your garden, I don't know if I can say that on video, and you think, oh, that wee-free stuff, that's really expensive, I'm only going to use a tiny weeny little bit of it, and you put just a little bit of wee-free enzymes on there, so you've just literally got half a dozen of the little fellas trying to eat all this dog wee, you can understand why you still got a smell in your grass, because each one of these sand particles that's representing a dog wee crystal is going to be smelling. And they're going to have two different sorts of smell. They're either creating an ammonia gas, or as they get wet from the rain, or from sort of a dewy, nice sort of summer morning, they get damp and they start to grow bacteria. So you've either got that ammonia sort of smell, or you've got that horrible musty fishy smell, and that's off-gassing, and that's different. That's little bits of bacteria that are growing on each and every one of these dog wee crystals. Now what we always try to tell you, on that first deep clean, you have to absolutely saturate it with enzymes. If you want a fast result and you want it to stop stinking, that first deep clean, after you've not cleaned it for ages, months, over the winter, maybe ever, we have lots of customers who've had their grass down for a couple of years and never cleaned it. You have to hit it hard. You've got to get enough of the little critters onto here to give them a sporting chance to eat the pee, okay? So there's no point in getting a 1 litre bottle, making a really weak dilution, and then just washing it on or squirting it on and hoping for the best. It's not going to work, because every single one of these are still stinking. Does that make sense? So what we say when we go out and we provide our cleaning services, we absolutely saturate it. So say you've got 20 metre square of garden, it's average size. It's use at least a 20 litre bulk buy on a really smelly 20 metre square garden, because we know as a customer you're looking for a fast result, and if we're going to soak that, it's as if we are putting this much, this many. If you're going to be doing this and you're going to have that many little wee eating critters on your wee, how much faster that's going to work and how much quicker you're going to get a result from it. Do you see what I mean? So it's entirely up to you, but so many of you get really frustrated and think, oh, I've washed it once and it's still smelling. Well, probably what you've done, you just haven't done enough wee free. If it smells of wee, it's because you've still got wee on the garden. It will stop smelling of wee when you've got rid of all the wee. But old dog wee is much more difficult for the enzymes to eat, because as dog wee gets older, it goes crispy. So if your dog sort of peed on the floor and you didn't notice it, and you didn't notice it till the day after, you know, if it's sort of weed in the dining room or something, sort of out the way, you'll notice how it goes like a sticky, orangey, yellowy. The urea in it, there's all sorts of funny bits in dog wee, but it's the stuff that sort of transport the urine crystals. It goes all sticky and manky. And so that's much harder the older it is. If it's like last year's wee, because quite often your lawn is all full of last year's wee, it's going to take these little fellas a lot longer, and they need a bit more help and support from you by using more of them. If it's new wee, it's much easier for them to digest. So if you can imagine now this, remember when you're mixing up your free, you need to just keep chucking it on. And yes, it's expensive. It is expensive because the enzymes are really, really, really expensive. But you can see as you're using more and more and more live enzymes, just for that first clean, after you've done it once, you might need to do it again if you've missed some, or if you've got a latex back grass and you've got loads of dog wee crystals inside that latex back grass, or you've left it for ages and ages. But you can see what would be happening the more and more enzymes you put on it. But as long as it's been mixed with water, it's going to be activated and the enzymes are going to be growing. So you could even use 2 litres in a 5 litre watering can, and that just means you've got more and more and more of the little enzymes in there. So really what I'm saying to you is for that first hit, for that first deep clean, remember that every one of these little bits of sand that we're saying are our dog wee has to physically be eaten by an enzyme. And if it still smells of wee, you haven't done it enough. You need to use more because you've still got wee in there smelling. Yeah? And then moving forward, next week after you've done your deep clean, you've only got that much wee left in the grass. So obviously you're only going to need a little bit of wee free, aren't you? So it doesn't need to be as expensive as the first clean. If you do it regularly, it's never going to build up, and you can use a much more diluted watering can full, and it's going to be more cost effective. So I hope that makes sense to you all. Give it a good shake first. On those first deep cleans, at least the first one, you need to really, 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 really zap it hard with wee free, and sometimes you're going to need a lot more than you think you do. And thank you all for watching. Any questions or queries, probably email us at info@topdogturf.co.uk. Love to you all, and I'm going to take my husband home so he can cook me dinner. That's what we need, isn't it? Have a great evening and enjoy your wee freeing. See you soon. Bye.